So those 5 questions from the lesson summary, I just printed them out here, and I wanted to kind of talk through them. These I will honestly say are harder than any quiz question you're going to see, but I like them because they're kind of difficult. They make you think. Some of them are kind of SAT-like, and so it's just kind of good in getting you sort of to the next level of stuff. So this is the question about Benito and his T-shirts, and it tells you up here that this shows profit. So this is profit as a function of shirts sold. So they give you this graph. So like, for example, when he sold 4 shirts, he made $20 profit. That's what this graph means. So then they have you pick the option that you have to pick which of these is true. A lot of these don't even make sense. Like this says he increases the price after 50 shirts. All we know he sold was 11 shirts. We got nothing past that. So there's like no way that one can be right. It says the y-intercept represents the cost of 1 shirt. The y-intercept is negative 20. He's not selling shirts for negative $20. That doesn't make any sense either. C says the x-intercept represents the number of shirts he has to sell before he makes a profit. So yeah, at 2 shirts, he had $0 profit, and after that, he starts making profit. That one looks pretty reasonable. And then D says the domain is where x is real numbers greater than 0. The real key here, you do kind of got to know what real numbers mean. Real numbers include fractions and decimals. You can't sell fractions of a shirt. He can't sell 2.73 shirts. Therefore, real numbers wouldn't make sense. It would have to be whole numbers or something like that. So that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of tricky pieces. Like this is something that doesn't come up very often, but C is definitely the best answer there because real numbers don't work. This one here, a lot of people get this one wrong. A lot of people pick C, where it says the price of 1 shirt increased from 10 to 15. Basically, it's saying like what happens in this graph. So from 0 to 7, that's this part of the graph, and then from 8 to 10. What happens is it got steeper. It like jumped down and then it got a little bit steeper. Because here it was going up by $10 each shirt. Now it's going up by $15 each shirt. But if you notice, it's his profit that's going up. The way the question's worded is it's not the price of the shirt, it's how much profit he's making. We don't know what he's charging per shirt. So this is a really, really technical question there. That's why I say some of these are pretty tricky. This one here, the third question on there, gave you this y equals negative 4x squared. So x squared functions are U-shaped. They make those U-shaped graphs. Because it's a negative, it's going to be a downward-facing U. You can also graph these on a calculator or a graphing app. We're going to learn a lot more about graphing in the next section. So if you didn't know this one, that's okay. The domain, x can be any real number. Absolutely. This graph goes left forever and right forever. So A does make sense there. The range goes from negative infinity to negative 4. No, it goes up to 0, so that negative 4 part's wrong. It decreases all the time. No, it starts off increasing and then it decreases. So it can't be that one. This point is a maximum. Absolutely. That's the highest point that it reaches. So that makes sense. And 2 x-intercepts, no, it's just 1. It just crosses the x-axis there. So just A and D in that case. So these select all that apply questions are also, I think, very difficult. It's hard to get the perfect combination there. If you said, if you put A, D, and E, it's wrong, but you were close. All right, this one. Which of these intervals are going on here? I'll have to zoom out a little bit. So actually, every single one of these is correct. So when you looked at these, the domain does go from negative 3 to 4. The range goes from negative 3 to 3. Yep. It increases during this stretch, which is from negative 3 to negative 1. It decreases on this stretch, negative 1 to 4. It's positive here, so it's positive from negative 2 to 2. And it's negative twice. It's negative here and here. So yeah, every single one of those was actually correct. Again, which makes it a tough question, trying to discern and find the exact ones that's right. And then for the rate of change, says what's the rate of change on this interval? This is what we did in the notes today. So from negative 2 to 0. So negative 2 is this point. 0 is this point. And if we count the rate of change between there, it goes up 2 and right 2. And 2 over 2 is 1. So the rate of change there is just 1. Again, these are usually really tough, which I think is good. It's a good way to kind of get you thinking.